Students, whatever homework is given to you, you have to submit it on the very next day between 8 am to 1 pm to the given WhatsApp number, and it is compulsory to submit your homework as your attendance will be marked on the basis of your submission.
Okay, good morning friends. Welcome back to the second chapter of First World War, Russian Revolution, and this is the last part in which we will see, well, after the World War, what changes came in the world. Well, while in the previous lecture, I told you that during the First World War in 1917, Russia decided to withdraw from the First World War because of the revolution began in Russia. Okay, here, what was that revolution that occurred in Russia? Why Russia decided to withdraw from First World War? Let us see. That revolution began in Russia. It was known as Bolshevik Revolution. Now let me tell you, what is Bolshevik? In our country, well, Hindus are there in majority and rest of the other religions are there in minority. So citizens are divided in majority and minority. In the same way, in Russia also, people were divided into minor groups and major group. The minor group which was there in Russia, it was known as Menshevik group. Minorities, minority group, Menshevik group, and majority of the people, they were there in the group, and it was Bolshevik group. So two groups were there in Russia. One was minor and it was known by Menshevik group. Second was major group and it was known by Bolshevik group. So the major population of Russia started a movement, started a revolution. Why? Let me tell you. Well, Bolshevik revolution, it was one of the very important incident that happened in world history. The impact of Bolshevik revolution was not limited, was not restricted up to Russia, but the impact was there on the other countries of the world also. Before 1970, in Russia, there was Tsar system. Tsar used to be the king. Okay? Tsar used to be the king. They used to be the rulers of the country. And those who were born in the family of Tsar, only they could become the next Tsar. None of the citizens have got the right to become Tsar. Only the family members of Tsar, they used to be the next Tsar. So Tsar used to be very powerful kings. They were dictators. They were very cruel. They never show any mercy to anyone. And they had the control of everything. They had the power of everything in Russia. And because of that, what happened? Well, they became dictators. There was no democracy found in the country. There was no right given to the people. People could work as a labor. People could earn, the livelihood. They could earn bread and butter, but they could never be the owner of any property. Every property belonged to whom? Tsar. And because of that, extreme poverty was there in Russia. People were not happy with that, Tsar system of Russia. But they cannot do anything. Because those who tried to oppose Tsar, well, the cruel punishment was given by Tsar. They were beaten by the army. They were killed by the soldiers of Tsar if they raised their voice against Tsar. And the very, very dangerous punishment given by Tsar to the people, it was what? They sent that person in the bone-chilling area of Siberia. Siberia is the region where extreme cold could be seen, could be felt. So those who oppose Tsar, the army of the Tsar used to arrest that person and they used to take him to Siberia. So this way, cruel punishment was given by Tsar to the people. And slowly but surely, people decided to fight against the system of Tsar. They wanted to live like human beings. They were treated like an animal by the Tsar. Once what happened, there was a Father Gapon. People decided to make Father Gapon as their leader, and once they gathered, so many people, huge crowd was gathered, and they selected Father Gapon as their leader, and they decided to go to the palace of Tsar and to protest peacefully. So Father Gapon and the huge crowd went to the palace of Tsar, and they wanted to talk to Tsar. They wanted to oppose peacefully. None of them, they had got any weapons. They wanted to talk to Tsar. But when Tsar came to know about all these things, now Tsar got angry. He called army there and gave orders to army to shoot innocent people. The soldiers opened fire, and Father Gapon and other people who were present, they all were shot dead by Tsar. That was the peak of cruelty, you can say. And after that, what happened? People of Russia started hating Tsar. They could not say anything in public, but they started disliking Tsar. That day when the Russian soldiers killed, the Father Gapon and the other man, it was Sunday, and that Sunday was known by Bloody Sunday in the history of Russia. After this, even Tsar realized that he needs to, change, bring some changes, bring some democracy. He should give some powers to the people. And as a result, he decided to assemble Duma Legislative Assembly. It was just the beginning of democracy, you can say. Duma Legislative Assembly. In that assembly, 4 people were selected from different corner of Russia. But again, Tsar started feeling fear that if I will give right to the Dumas, well, in that case, my supremacy will be disappearing. Now, on 8th March 1917, one more incident happened in Russia. It was Petrograd city. The workers were working in the factory, and the owner of the factory obviously was appointed by the Tsar. Well, he was very cruel, did not give, the salary to the workers, to the labor, and as a result, the laborers called strike in that factory. But that strike was going to be a turning point in Russia. Well, Tsar came to know that people in Petrograd, they have called strike in the factory. Tsar called his army, hey, come on, just go there, open fire, kill them, finish them, and finish the strike also. The soldiers went to Petrograd factory, but they refused to open fire on the innocent laborers there. And the soldiers went along with the laborers in Petrograd. And that was the beginning of the movement against whom? Against Tsar. And with that, the revolution began in every corner of Russia. And Tsar realized that from now onwards, he cannot rule Russia. And with that, Tsar system was ended by the people in Russia. When that system was ended, at that time, the control of the power of Russia, it went to a leader called Kerensky. Kerensky was a nice leader, you can say. And he belonged to the minority group of Russia, and that minority group was known by which name? Menshevik group. He was Menshevik. And he believed in the philosophy that for the development of the nation, the middle class is very important. So he started giving importance to the middle class families of Russia. And again, that was a blunder made by Kerensky. Well, in Russia, there was a philosopher, there was a leader, Lenin. And Lenin was the follower of the principles of Karl Marx. And according to the theory of Karl Marx, middle class is not important for the growth of the nation. Well, importance should be given to the laborers. Laborers are the pillars of the development of economy, according to Karl Marx. And Lenin believed in that theory, and that's why Lenin decided to start a movement against Kerensky. And yes, under the leadership of Lenin, Lenin belonged to which group? Lenin belonged to Bolshevik group, the major group of Russia, and they started a movement against Mensheviks, and ultimately they became successful and they got the power of Russia. So this way, Bolshevik revolution, it brought many changes in Russia and finished the Tsardom. You can say that ultimately democracy was established in Russia. So this is Bolshevik revolution, and it is very important. After that, movement revolutions began in different countries also. So that's why it is very important. Entire world took notice of this revolution. So after this, we have to study about the League of Nations. What is this League of Nations? Why it was required? Let me tell you. When the First World War was ended, well, at that time, the total 30 countries were there. Almost 30 countries were there. 24 on one side, 4 on other side. Okay, Allied forces and Axis forces. Allied forces defeated Axis forces. But in that long war of 5 years, there was a huge loss of man and material. Disorder was there in all those countries. Well, Germany had to sign the Treaty of Versailles, but Germany was not satisfied. Germany was feeling humiliation. And some injustice was done to other countries also. America, well, America played a key role. But much of the profit, much of the penalty paid by Germany was not given to America. So, dissatisfaction was there in different nations. And as a result, there was a fear that very shortly another war will start. So to avoid any other war, some countries decided to establish League of Nations, and the key role played by the American President Mr. Wilson. He established League of Nations, and the process of the establishment was done in Paris. It was known as Paris Peace Process, and it was done on 10th of January 1920. League of Nations was formed and established by the people to maintain peace in the world, to avoid the war in the world. 6 main aims were there. Let me tell you the aims. The first aim of League of Nations was to maintain international peace and security. Peace should be there. Every country should feel secure. Second, every nation to respect the unity and integrity of other nations. We have to respect the existence of other nations. Well, right now what is happening, many countries are sending, the terrorists in different countries to bring instability there. That type of thing should be avoided, because it leads a country towards war only, and war gives only one gift: destruction of man and material. We should third main aim, that avoid the war. We should not go into war. If suppose we have got differences with any other nation, in that case it should be solved on table. It should not be solved in battlefield. That was the third main aim of League of Nations. The fourth main aim was to start, building good international relationship. Well, right now, India is developing its relationship with different countries, like the China is there, the France is there, England is there, Africa is there. We believe in universal brotherhood. That type of thing should be there. We should not motivate the war. The fifth aim, that to solve international disputes peacefully through negotiation or mediation. And if suppose two countries are not happy with each other, well, some third nation should come forward and try to satisfy, the wants of both the nation, try to remove the differences. So this way only we have to solve the problems of the world. And the last one, if any of the country motivates any violent incident in any other country, that country must be boycotted by all. Economic restrictions should be imposed on that country. Some penalty should be imposed on that country, so that violence can be avoided, so that war can be avoided. So to establish peace in the whole world, League of Nations was established by people. Well, after that people started thinking that everything is going to be fine, but no, my dear friends, it did not happen. In 1939, just after 20 years of First World War, the Second World War broke out. But that is not there in the course, so that's why we are not doing any discussion about Second World War. But let me tell you one thing: peace can never be established through treaties and organization. Now the homework time. Well, all questions which are given in the exercise of your textbook that you must have to solve, and if any difficulty is there, contact us through WhatsApp. We will definitely feeling happy to reply you and to solve your problems. Have a nice day to all of you. Thank you very much for watching video.